And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. Word. Sync clap, please.
Oh, sync snap.
And we're clunky.
Kind of live. Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We are
getting jiggy with it. Nah.
Stop it, Aubrey.
Come on, man.
We are back.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
I'm excited. We got a great episode for you, and hopefully everybody that's paying attention live, or if you can see us on the live stream, thanks for being here. We appreciate you being here to understand that we have no idea what we're doing. But we appreciate you nonetheless. Today we want to really get into our topic of conversation, which is why has Will Smith decided to make this album now? And I just want to know what was on his mind, right? What was he thinking when he made this album? So
okay.
all right, we're back. Sorry.
We're good.
Sorry, I freaked everybody out. I just hit the wrong button. I was trying to type on the wrong computer because I got 17 computers in order to do this operation, and maybe I should just simplify the process, but whatever. We're talking about Willie Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't either, because I was asking a couple questions. My first question to you is, why, as we're breaking this down, in 20 years did he decide to make an album now?
You're asking the wrong person, my dude.
Oh, because it's been like the last album that he made was in 2005, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously 20 years ago. And this is the album where he responded to like the Eminem criticism and everything else and also stuff. And then you just go silent, because I remember I remember us not necessarily receiving that album as well as his other albums.
Which album?
The one with Switch on it with Mr. Nice Guy and stuff. What is that album? Let me see.
Who knows?
Let's check it out.
But I think that speaks to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're in a situation where I don't understand why.
Lost and Found.
Thank you. I don't understand why Will Smith has decided to release another album right now. And this album is called Based on a True Story. It was released yesterday, March 28, 2025. It has 14 tracks. A few of them intros. I'm sorry, not intros, but interludes. I don't know how I feel about this one.
It's really weird. Because I don't know if it's like trying to like coincide with some Fresh Prince anniversaries, or if the Oscar stuff really kind of put him in a spot.
You think it was that?
I mean, Emancipation was the last movie he's done, right? As far as I can recall. So I feel like maybe it's entangled somewhere with that. No pun intended.
So you're saying that, what the heck? Oh, you're saying that the failure of this last movie has something to do with this album?
Yeah. Somewhere in my mind, I kind of feel like that. Because what has been his blockbuster move or stand? Well, no, I guess it would have been at the time. I mean, I would say his blockbuster move stand would have been King Richard.
I don't know how I feel about that take.
I can't find another motivation that makes sense.
He started making songs randomly and felt inspired. He had to go sit down for a little bit,
but did he?
That's what he went to.
But did he?
I mean, he says he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the complicated thing about Will Smith to me.
Mm-hmm.
So for the time when he came out, him and Jazzy Jeff, for what he did, as the first hip hop album to win a Grammy, I wonder sometimes, was that because he was the safe guy to them?
No pun intended.
Yeah.
You're on the road today. When you gonna switch it up?
But it's worth talking about.
Yeah. All of your takes are out in the wild, wild west right now.
Man, it's much like I'm a man in black. But I was in elementary school, as were you, during the time where Will Smith was still the biggest thing in the world.
Okay.
And it's not like he's lost traction on Instagram or anywhere else, it seems. He's still, Mr. Millennium, Big Will.
Millennium gonna come at you.
Shout out to my dogs. Shout out to Vil and Don Hoppy for filling in for me. But I don't really, I just don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. And because his last album was in 2005, it's not like you took time to kind of grow your style. Though, if you listen to the song he did with Jordan Lucas in 2020, you would think he had, like, taken a little time and kind of upgraded himself. But I'm like, bro, you've been out for 2 decades and you came back in the same decade that you left.
Okay. So let's start there. He did an interview with the Associated Press and he said that he contacted Jay-Z and he contacted Kendrick Lamar, and they basically said the same thing, which was be yourself, tell the real story, don't tell some fake story, don't try to, fit into the current zeitgeist or whatever. Just do your thing and tell it like it is. Do you feel like he accomplished that on this album?
I felt like he was in some sort of weird limbo of, so I'm gonna give y'all a metaphor to what I think he did or what this album sounds like. So whenever back in the day before,
wait. Do you think he did it though? First,
do I think he did what exactly?
Do you feel like he told the true story?
Yes. To a varying degree.
Okay, so now elaborate.
So back before R. Kelly went to jail, whenever R. Kelly would mess up publicly, we would get a Christian gospel record that everybody would forgive him on, which is why they make fun of it on the Boondocks, because that is literally what would happen. This kind of feels like that.
Okay.
Because
this is I Believe I Can Fly moment.
Yeah, like you're using a lot of the church imagery and you're kind of talking about all the things that people have been talking about for the past 5 or 6 years, since Red Table Talk, since the entanglement situation, since every other interview that Jada has about you, like in y'all's privacy, and it's kind of just gotten to a point to where even with the smack, they still made that about like a Red Table Talk kind of thing, right? And so the smack happens on a night where you actually win an Oscar, and now everything has kind of changed around you. Like you do your apology, but it's kind of like people only see you as the Instagram guy. They don't really see you as the same blockbuster guy that you were. And Hollywood seems to have kind of ostracized themselves from you in that way.
Yeah.
So I feel like when he started thinking about this album, when he started thinking about these things, because again, the last record that you have is the 2020 remix where Joyner Lucas does the wheel thing or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a cool record for him to pop out. Seems like he's kind of learned a couple things or whatever the case may be. But again, probably just kind of following in Joyner's pattern, so to speak. And now we're here where it's like you didn't change much and a lot needed to kind of be changed.
Okay, so based off of that take, to answer the same question that I posed,
Yeah.
I don't think any of this is based off a true story. I think this is all surface level story.
Yes.
It's not deep. It is not connective. It is not reflective in any sort of way. And it also isn't a story that the kids and the current, like our generation, anybody that grew up with Will Smith, anybody that understood who Will Smith was in the 2000s, since he made his last album in 2005, and then people today cannot relate to this story at all, in my opinion.
No.
And because it's so surface level, it doesn't uncover anything for anybody. It doesn't say why I slapped Chris. It doesn't say, hey, it does kind of say get out of my business with Jada, but it doesn't really say why you should get out of my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't say anything forcefully.
Right. It just makes these generalized big statements, and it feels as if Will recorded a couple singles or a few singles, and you can tell what he recorded by how things are like typed in all caps in some cases, like work of art. You Can Make It, which he I think was performed on one of the award shows.
Yeah, that one, and I think the Sunday service one.
Well, that's You Can Make It,
yeah,
with some Sunday service. Tantrum with Joyner Lucas and Beautiful Scars with Big Sean. So basically all the music videos that he's released and the performances that he's released, he did something with those things, but then like had some extra stuff and he just threw it in there.
Yeah, I don't think this was like I said, it's a weird thing because I feel like this is his, okay, I have to return to what my roots are. And my roots are hip hop. And so here we are.
I don't think he's stuck to the playbook, so to speak.
No, I don't know if I wish he would. I don't know what I would have wanted from this album other than to like feel he was a bit more modern and it not be so like blatant when he's kind of like researching, but it seems like he's researching in a time capsule.
Yeah. And this may be honest to him, right? While he's in the studio, while he's creating, while he's trying to get while he's trying to relate to what's happening and storytell. All of this could be totally honest for him. I feel like it's still a half-baked idea.
Oh, I think it's way less than half-baked. I think it's
still raw.
I think it's still raw, bro, for real. But that's only because of the star power that he does still have. And so on most levels, what is going to be a flop? Like how?
Well, yeah, right. He's popular on Instagram. He's popular on YouTube and some other platforms. And everything he does will get a million.
Bad Boys
will
did
get a
good.
yes, everything he does will get 1 million views, right? Cool. But what does that mean to really connect? Is he sticking to the assignment that he asked Kendrick and Jay about?
I think for him he is, because what we've kind of realized is what you just said, which is his truth. So his truth and his foundation, again, which I'm glad my brain finally got together, the Bad Boys movies. You set up those last two to go back to your roots, the stuff that people like are excited to see you in. You come back to rap in the way that you've come back because those are the things that you feel like you're trying to get the motion back that you had.
Yeah, but I don't need like a 10 to 15 year gap between every album. And that's the piece that is really concerning for me, is like,
same.
Yo, do the thing and don't do it halfway. The time and the attention that he put into Bad Boys to make it nostalgic,
yes,
he did not put into this record.
No, and I don't even feel like, I noticed I was telling you on Make a Way, it was funny that he uses Eminem's I Am style.
Yeah, let's come back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
I think we can maybe dive into the track list first.
Okay.
Kind of pick out some themes from the track list. What did you hear? What did you notice? And then go from there. What was there a song that just kind of stuck out to you and just made it palatable?
Let me see here. Maybe I like the structure of Work of Art. I don't like his verse.
Okay, why?
It just feels like you're trying to say, I'm the start, I'm the end, I'm the left, I'm the right, I'm the north, I'm the south, I'm the west, I'm the east.
So he's just kind of spilling out all of these. What would it be called? Is it diatribe?
Yeah, I think so. It's either diatribe or just these. Oh my gosh, I hate when my English brain goes there. But yeah, but like I got nothing from that because you're not really.
It's just a bunch of opposites, right?
Yeah.
It's not a diatribe,
but you're constructing something that has no substance to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're saying a lot. Like,
is he saying a lot, or is he saying nothing by trying to say a lot?
A lot of nothing.
Got it.
Like, you're there. There's nothing behind, to me, what you're saying.
I like the production.
Yeah.
I like the engineering. I like the way the song sounds. I like Russ's voice.
Yeah.
I like Jaden's voice. All of it comes together, but then it feels very empty.
Yeah.
It's like a pizza with no toppings.
That's wild. That's funny. But I guess in hindsight, my song would be the one with Joyner, which is Tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
But because I like Joyner's style and I like Will in that style, because it seems like he has to actually grow and try.
Yeah.
And that pocket fits him.
Yeah.
And,
So how does this record connect to anything that he's tried to address within the past 20 years?
I think Tantrum connects to kind of like him feeling like he's emotionally being vulnerable, in a sense of saying, like, I'm having these tantrums and like my inner child. So all of these things that I've kind of like been looking for, all of these things that I'm desiring, what fame has kind of done, all of these different things. Like, I think for him, it's like there's all of these things that are said about me. And regardless of what's said about me, I'm still the good West Philly kid, Prince Charming, Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff dude at heart, Mr. Blockbuster. Like, I'm still that, is what I think his identity has conformed to, which doesn't say anything, but he does not know that.
But if he's still that, why didn't he show that? Why didn't him and Jeff lock in?
Mm-hmm.
And just like to for lack of a better term, make a work of art?
I don't know.
Because this doesn't feel like a work of art. This feels like a photo shoot.
It feels like a mixtape.
Maybe, but I mean, that feels like you're crapping on mixtapes at that point.
Here's what I think in my mind it should have sounded like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and this is a hot take, I guess. Well, not really, but
warm take.
Jazzy,
lukewarm take,
room temp take. It should have sounded like an Alchemist album to me.
Say more.
So
that doesn't make any sense to me. But what?
When I'm thinking about these things at the end of the day, right? Like I think about like Summertime and how Summertime felt. I think about the songs that felt more genuine to like the hip hop aspect of what Will Smith can do.
Mm-hmm.
And they took a bit of this sample in a warm feeling. So if you're talking about Parents Just Don't Understand, quote, cool, whatever, where he started to get more away from the foundational ground of his sound was when we get into the, you know, the Welcome to Miami's, the Getting Jiggy with It's, the pop records, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Bankhead in the chat. Said it's a money grab.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. And I think that if he had done something with the same kind of like sample sounds, or because Jeff can do it, to where the things feel warm, the things feel vibrant, the things feel like, okay, here's the pocket for Will to like do his thing, then I think it would have been a better album versus this just sounds like it almost sounds like a fake Kanye produced album.
I can see that. I think it needed an executive producer.
Agreed. I don't think he should have had as much control.
I think instead of calling Jay-Z, you maybe should have had Jay-Z in the room.
Yeah.
I think
should have had Kendrick in the room.
Bring Kendrick, bring Rick Rubin, whoever you need to EP this project and make it cohesive. Because all of these songs are here, but they're just kind of floating out in the ether.
Yeah.
They don't have a through line. They are, like I've said before, is disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
And because they don't have any connective tissue,
yeah,
you're just kind of saying stuff.
You're saying a lot, and there's this redemption of like, because you're using this reverend character or whatever to talk about redemption and how people can, you're kind of deflecting. So it's like based on a true story, but you're telling me how I can overcome my struggles.
So is the real album out there somewhere?
No.
Will a real Will Smith please stand up?
Or just do movies. We're okay with that.
I mean,
it's been 20 years, bro.
I want to hear a Will Smith album. This was not a Will Smith album because he didn't follow what his advisors told him to do
at all. And I think the sad part about it is I don't think the actuality of this is going to reach him, because you are at a place where, much like the Drake and Kendrick beef or whatever, where your fans are your fans, and you've already cultivated your following on Instagram, YouTube, like we said earlier. So I don't know that it's even going to be something to where it like hits, because the singles, the ones with Russ, the ones with Jordan Lucas, Big Sean, Jaden, are gonna still do numbers.
Yeah, but so, I don't know. I feel like we're repeating ourselves at this point. What can we hope for in this situation?
I would hope that, like you said earlier, that there is not a 15-year gap. I would hope that you're actually taking the craft seriously and going to give it that attention. Because I don't think, like, dog, you rusty, and that's all it showed is you rusty. It's 20 years out. Like, you attacking the tracks is as you did, kind of relaxing, cussing in your music or whatever, which was your whole deal was you were the I was thinking about this analogy the other day. Like, Will is the Sinbad of hip hop, or was.
Hold on.
Or was.
Hold on. Make that connection, please.
So Sinbad is the clean comic that is funny that all comics respect. Will was the clean rapper that all rappers respected because he was dope.
Brian said it.
No.
Sinbad
is not
crazy.
though, because like if you ask a lot of comics, like who is the best in terms of comic, like you don't even know that Sinbad is not cussing until you actually go back and look or listen. And I think that when Will Smith was making the songs, like I wasn't like craving like, ooh, you need to like cuss here. When I was listening to good God, Getting Jiggy with It or whatever album, I think it is, that's that album. Yeah. Like I wasn't looking for other things. I was like, this is satisfying because he's actually doing dope music, dope tracks, so on and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you come into this album where it's like it feels kind of like sensationalized or whatever, right? Not to say that it's like or that he needed to just not cuss for not cussing's sake. When you weren't cussing, the way you used your lyrics was dope. This just felt like I'm just gonna say what I think people are saying about me while addressing nothing. And just telling you positive quotes.
So here's what I didn't want. I didn't want pop records.
Okay.
He's always made pop records.
Mm-hmm.
His recent book, Will, in 2021. So he makes this out of the pandemic. He has this time of reflection.
Yeah.
And he puts the book out. And then, does some movies, gets the Oscar win, the slap happens. At this point, I feel like this album should have been like that book.
Agreed.
He told stories that were deeply personal. He didn't have to rehash those stories on this album, by the way, right? You don't have to say it word for word. It's like the album is floating in the sky, and I want him to come down to the ground.
Yeah, just I also wanted it to feel more like if it's based on a true story, I want it to be based in maybe something from West Philly, maybe based in like you could even do an origin story for all I care.
In.
Bring Philly
the Roots and Jazzy Jeff and like Jill Scott and
like just Philly.
Yeah.
You can bring, Eve, you can bring
don't bring Meek Mill.
I mean,
do you think a Meek Mill Will Smith record would work?
I think it would if he took more.
If he did his intro,
yes,
with Meek Mill.
If he did his intro with Meek Mill, if he did his intro, like he could have had Wallow, he could have had Gilly, like go Philly.
He
now I'm hungry.
The Bird,
like
or cheesesteak.
Something, or even get Kevin Hart or somebody. Like I feel like he again is kind of missing the point, which is basically what you're saying.
He could have had the cast of
Always Sunny, Abbott Elementary, like just
he missed an opportunity.
He did. Like go like literally do all of the things that. Because he's doing it everywhere else. Like I saw an Instagram post where he went back to his high school to talk to like the teacher that gave him basically the Fresh Prince name. They called him Prince Charming and all this other stuff. And it's like, you're doing all of this stuff, but your album does not feel Philly to me. And maybe it feels Philly to people from Philly who love Will and love like the general style of it. But for me, it, like you said, it lacked any kind of depth whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I might have to agree with Brian. It might just be a money grab.
Yeah. On your Sinbad point, I think that him not cursing came from a real place, right? His grandma asked him not to. But the other piece that's concerning about that is that over time it feels fake.
Yeah, I can see.
Right? He's not that same person anymore, and he doesn't necessarily feel the need to like follow that trajectory anymore or follow that guideline that he was provided. And so I don't think that, I think there comes a point where the not cursing thing becomes a gimmick. Like, when does it become pretending to filter yourself? You know what I mean? Right? You know, or that filter becomes fake.
That depends on the artist.
It does depend on the artist, right?
Because I don't.
Yeah, but that's still grounded and still real for you, and you can feel that reality, and you don't go around talking about it.
No,
you didn't make it a part of your brand per se.
No, but I think that it's like it still feels disingenuous on either end, because now it just feels like grandma gone, I can cuss. Like, it don't feel like it's an authentic delivery from him. That was my my other issue with, it's like, it just felt like conversation for conversation's sake. It felt like this is your first time actually saying curse words ever, even though you cussed in movies and done all the stuff. It didn't feel like that.
Yeah, this
felt like, oh, sensationalism. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say shit one time.
Like, he is so far removed because of his stardom and the level of blockbuster that he is, that I don't think he can see the actual work ethic of what this takes. Right.
This isn't a review, but what would you give it?
Oh my God. 2 Miamis out of 5. Like, maybe actually like 1.5 Miamis, because there's only like 1 or 2 songs on this thing that I like. Everything else feels kind of wasted. Like, I even feel like having B Simone on it was weird, because if you had like used her throughout the album, so like give her an opportunity again, like we said earlier, give somebody a narrator role, give somebody this, like, make it a story. You took it in a certain way to where it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna say all of the what's the red words, not the red words, but like the trigger words. Yeah, the trigger words. Ooh, I'm gonna go mention Jada. I'm gonna mention the smack. I'm gonna mention this, and then we're not gonna talk about it again.
Right.
So, yeah,
I would give this 1 gritty out of 5. A singular gritty.
Yeah, I can't do no more than that. You said you do want a Will Smith album, so I think I think I do too. I just definitely don't want this.
I say lock in with Jeff. Have an executive producer in the room. My preference would be Rick Rubin.
I think I'd go No ID.
Ooh. Cold-blooded, son. I'm gonna second that one,
because he does not miss.
Get out of here, Rick.
Like, if you give me that with Jazzy Jeff production, and like I said, you could also do like an Alchemist could get a shout, because I think that would feel the most authentic to what we want to hear. But in terms of like a full functioning project, No ID.
Yeah.
But yeah, do we think we get another Will Smith album in what, 2-3 years, something like that?
No.
Do you think this is gonna be like the last one we get?
For a while, yes.
How long?
If I were to bet money, I would say 5 years.
Okay, well that's respectable. I can do 5.
It's not. It's not when you have resources.
It's better than 20.
Yeah.
I'll take 5 over 20.
Okay.
Like, so either way, what did y'all think about this album? Have you even listened to the album?
Right.
Outside of like the singles or watching the video? Let us know down in the comments what you think about it. What you were expecting from it, so on and so forth. But be sure to hit the like, subscribe, share this with somebody who you think would enjoy it. We do this every week. And we'll be back on the next one live. So tell your friends we back live, baby. And we'll see you in the next one. A 1 and a 2 and peace.